What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Do a Podcast. I hate the way I say that. And I try not to say it that way, but I always do. But anyways, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anthony.
And
I don't know how that comes across. I can't hear. I got no side tone right now. That's weird. So
what? No
yeah,
way.
let me see. Let me press this button, see what happens. Oh, there's. Now I'm
Okay.
just loud in my ears, but I'm just gonna stop
Oh.
doing that.
Nothing
I don't like listening
says,
to myself.
yeah. It's a great idea to just
Yeah,
push buttons right when you're live. I think
yeah, yeah. I'm okay
that's how you
inflicting
should.
myself on other people, but I don't want to inflict myself on myself. So
Yeah, that's how we do things around here. Is
yeah,
we hit live and then we start messing around.
yeah. That's how I roll.
That's right. So first off, happy almost Halloween, everybody.
It's
Uh,
the spooky season, Spooktoberfest.
that's right. And of course, we are doing I wouldn't say scary movies because this was definitely not scary.
I thought maybe it would have been. I don't know.
We're doing gore, slasher, strange movies.
Yeah.
But
Taking the old dart and throwing it at the dartboard, see what we land on.
and those are always the fun ones too, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just because you, especially going on Tubi, because that's where we watched. So if you didn't see the title, we watched The Sand, and it's a
The
Tubi
sand.
Tubi movie. Wow. So you never know what you're gonna get with those. So
Yeah.
before we get into
At the end, we
there,
get to rate this one to be or not to be.
yes,
Yes.
that is the question.
Yeah.
Uh, so Anthony, what are you drinking on today?
So in the spirit of the season, I wanted to drink something that was dark, insidious, sadistic, just like I thought this movie might have been. The movie wasn't, but maybe this beer will be. I've got a stout that is non-alcoholic. Woo!
What?
Yeah, so I've never had this before. This has been sitting in my fridge for a minute, and I was like, "What's scarier than a non-alcoholic stout?" I am concerned for my safety drinking
Listen,
this, so
Anthony's just risking everything with this episode. A
putting it
movie,
on the line for the
yeah,
fans
strange
here.
movie, a strange beer. Like
Yeah,
these are some strange things. Let me tell you that.
yeah. But so the beer, quotation marks beer, it's from Athletic Brewing. So they're pretty popular non-alcoholic beer company. But it's called All Out, and they say in their blurb here. Uh, Inspired by days on the slopes and nights by the fire, All Out is a delightfully smooth and soul warming stout. Each sip delivers a silky, full bodied mouthfeel. Mouthfeel. And pleasantly toasty finish, along with delicate notes of coffee and bittersweet chocolate. Given the depth of flavor, it's surprisingly light and refreshing, making it the perfect beer for any time of year. They rhymed it. We like to pair it with warm, savory dishes in winter, but light, sweet treats in warmer weather. All Out by Athletic Brewing Company. So a little warm introduction for All Out there. We'll see how this goes. If the beer matches the tone they
Mm,
provide in their write up, but
I'm very interested in this. I'm really looking forward to
yeah.
seeing what you think.
But let's see if we get the let's see if it passes the noise test first. Let's see here. Not quite.
Yeah, I mean,
I give it a 2 out of 5 on the opening scale there. But we'll get it poured out and we'll see what happens.
so I decided I was kind of like, I'm not really in the mood for beer. So I decided to pull out since I've bought quite a bit of spirits since we've moved here. So I pulled out a whiskey from it's actually from Rogue called Dead Guy Whiskey. I like the little guy on top too.
Ah, the rogue guy.
Yeah. So I'm just drinking it straight with a big ice cube in it, and we'll see.
Are we sure this isn't Adventure Week instead of Scary Week?
It is Adventure Week.
We're being adventurous.
It could be scary too.
Yeah. All right. Well, cheers to that.
Uh
Mm, stout flavored water.
oh. um. Yeah,
We'll
mine's
see if it gets
just.
better.
I'm kind of on the same boat. I'm like, this whiskey. I think this whiskey would be perfect with some Coke in it or something. It's okay. It's okay by itself.
Yeah.
I'll drink this throughout the episode, um, and then we'll give ratings on this. So
Yeah. It reminds me of I went to a vegan festival this past weekend and went to the got VIP tickets, VIP.
Wow.
And got a few drinks. Lines were crazy at this place, but I waited in line and used one of my drink tickets, and I thought I was ordering a Paloma because they had like your standard Dallas like big beers, so like they had Dallas Blonde and all that stuff, and I saw I saw a Paloma. I was like, I'll get a Paloma. It's Sunday. Go get a Paloma. It's fine. Turns out it's a Paloma inspired beer from Deep Ellum. And it was also something. It was like a good bait and switch there, where I could sense where they thought it tasted like Paloma, but it was also a beer. So it's one of those things where it's like you think you're gonna drink Coca-Cola, but it's actually sweet tea.
Yeah.
Even if you like sweet tea, it's not what you were expecting. So
Yeah. So VIP, does that stand for most valuable plant?
Vegetarian in their prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't me. I was there in disguise. I had just prior to that event, I had a couple of eggs, some sausage. So
You got your meat in before
in
you
their
went.
midst. Yeah, got some good. They had some good Indian food there though. So yeah.
Nice. We decided to adventure up to Portland. We found two really good like breweries that have like good covering because it was raining because it's
Oregon, Portland. Yeah.
it's Portland, Oregon in October. So it was rainy, so we found a lot better covering than whenever y'all were in the area. But yeah, we hit up two different breweries, and man, it was really good beer, and we found probably the best pizza I think I've had so far since we've been here. So very happy.
It seems like pizza is much bigger up there than I expected. Which hey, I'm all for some good pizza. So
yeah, there's so many pizza places. We were actually talking about we haven't had a lot of pizza like from town. The few that we've had have just been okay, but there's supposed to be some really good places that we're like, okay, we need to go try them. Because I don't want to drive up to Portland every time I want a good pizza,
Right. Yeah.
But so that's what we did. So let's move on to the next segment, and I guess I'll go first since usually we have you go first. So movies / TV shows that are out or coming out that I don't know I seem interested in. So first we're going to talk about
The Eras tour, right?
Huh? It's on my list.
That's what we're gonna talk about first, right? Okay.
It's on my list. But first, we're going to talk about a movie I actually just saw, but you've already seen it whenever, I think before it was actually released, was Renfield.
I did.
Yeah. So we finally, I think it's on HBO Max. It's on something. So we were like, you know what? We wanted to watch a movie. I was like, let's put it on. I really want to watch it. What a fun movie.
It was. Nicholas Hoult killed it.
I had a blast with this movie. It was not what I thought. But yeah, I was just like, it was one of those. I'm like, I would watch this again for Cage Fest. Like, and we probably will.
Yeah, we probably will. But like Nick Hoult, Ben Schwartz, Aquafina, and Nick Cage, it's like a friggin' embarrassment of riches, and as far as acting talent goes in that movie, it was really. It's like surprising as little attention this movie got.
And I really like too that like Nicolas Cage wasn't like the actor of the movie. There's a lot of the movies that he's in, it's just like he's the actor in this movie. But this one, like he obviously played a part and a good role in it, but just like all the other characters, really shined in this movie, and I really liked that. I thought it was a good balance of everybody kind of getting their spotlight.
Yeah, I think it was my second favorite Nicolas Cage movie this year. The first being The Flash, where Nicolas Cage was featured for about 2 seconds as Superman.
I
Well,
have
at
not
least
seen it
a
yet.
CGI representation of Nicolas Cage as Superman. So spoilers, but
Yeah.
it's
No,
it's like it's a dumb part of the movie in a dumb movie. So
yeah. Yeah, that's on my list of movies that I'm gonna watch. So yeah, so next that we're talking about, of course, the Eras tour. I mean, the amount of money Taylor Swift is making from
man, she's a printing her own money at this point. Yeah.
it is mind blowing. So I actually know somebody that went to opening night of this movie.
Oh
Uh,
really?
yeah, his daughter bought tickets thinking like he would be excited, and he's just like, I'm gonna drink before we go and make her drive because this is gonna be wild. And I've not get to ask how it was, but I can assume it was a lot of children singing songs and dancing, and I mean, a lot of theaters have kind of even put out like you can do that. You can sing songs, you can dance, just don't block other people. Don't
Right.
be, kind of be courteous to other people. But I cannot imagine going to one of these. For one, it's like
I
3.5 hours.
Yeah, so it's like so my wife went to the actual show when they were when she performed in Dallas, and the show is a long show. Like Taylor Swift, like, hey, all credit where credit is due. She's a showman,
Oh,
consummate showman.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the actual in-person show is longer than this movie is. Um, but uh, but yeah, we were my wife and I we were coming. We were in downtown Fort Worth the night this movie came out, and we saw people coming out, and everybody was wearing their Swifty shirts, and like there were people wearing like Eras Tour shirts, which I guess they not only went to see the show, they also they went to see the show when it was at AT&T Stadium. Now they were seeing the movie, so they can relive the experience, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so
That
I
was
think
same
I'll
with our
dodge
friend.
this one.
Yeah. That was same
Yeah.
with our friend that she went to Seattle to see it and then did opening night tickets where he was like, didn't you just watch this? But
Yeah.
live? Like,
Like I want to relive it. I want to
Yeah,
share bracelets with people.
I mean, and
Maybe
that's the
Travis
thing.
Kelsey will be there.
I don't think I know for me, I don't hate Taylor Swift. I don't love
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. Like, she's fine. Like, yeah, she has some music I like. She has music I don't like. But, I feel like there's a lot of those in between or extreme fans. Like, I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
met anybody that's like flat out like, I hate her. And if you do, I mean, that's fine. But it's just like, I feel like there's a lot of in between or a lot of hardcore Swifties, or I think that's what they're
Yeah.
called.
I was in my mid to late 20s when she started getting popular, so I was too old to be caught by that bug, I think.
Yeah.
There are some now there are some women that I know who are my age that are very much in the Swifty category. But for me, I was never very much into that style of music because I think she started out country and then she became pop, and I've been aware the whole time because I've known people
Exactly.
who were fans of hers, but I have never. I'm like, again, it's like Bruno Mars. I'm aware of Bruno Mars. He's got some good songs, but like I'm not like super into Bruno
Yep.
Mars. So
Yeah. No, I'm exactly the same way. And yeah, so I mean, I it's nice that at least somebody like her, because she does treat her I guess employees, people that are working for her, contracting for her, like she treats them very well, pays them
Yeah.
very well.
oh,
So
she
it's just
pays them a
nice.
lot.
Yeah, and like she, after like her big tour that she did, like she gave a huge bonus to all the truck drivers. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
you know what? This is the one celebrity that I'm like, go for it. Make all the money
Yeah.
you can, because you know what? Not only are you keeping some for yourself, but you're helping people. So
She's propping up the U.S. economy one
yeah.
show at a time. Yeah.
So there is a new-ish show on Hulu called No One Will Save You. Have you seen the
I've seen
commercials?
this. Yeah, I thought this was it's not a movie, it's a show.
Maybe it is a movie. I thought it was a
I
show.
thought it was, if it was a movie, I was like, we should like. I wanted to check it out. I was like, maybe
is
if
a
this one's
movie.
like middling to bad, maybe we should check it out.
Okay, it is a movie.
Okay.
So maybe we'll do this for Halloween.
Yeah.
but I saw the commercial for it quite a few times, and it looks really good. I watched the trailer again today, and I was
Yeah.
like, yes, this is one that it doesn't look horrifying. It just looks very interesting.
Yeah. It's
Obviously,
right up there. Yeah.
it definitely has the suspense and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, it scratches that childhood scary itch for me because I probably talked about it on the show before, but the one of the movies that scared the hell out of me the most when I was a kid, was E.T. And then
Mm.
my parents then had the knowledge or foresight or sadistic pleasure to have me watch Fire in the Sky, if you remember that.
I have
Uh,
not seen that.
that maybe that's one we do in the future at some point too, when we have
Mm.
our nostalgia movies like we've done previously.
Those are fun.
But that's a scary alien abduction movie. Not like your ETs or your Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But so these alien movies, these things like just they scratch and itch that scary itch for me, unlike some other movies can. So yeah, it may just do that. So I'm curious.
Yeah. So hey, you know what? Maybe we'll do that because I think our next episode is our Halloween episode. Um,
Spooky. Yeah.
which I totally forgot to even mention it in the last episode, but our last episode was our 100th episode. So
Ooh,
happy
celebrate.
100. Yeah, good thing we did it with whatever movie that was. Punished. I think it was
Yeah,
the Punished.
in the spirit of things, yeah.
Yeah, we had to end it on a really bad note. Our
Yeah.
100th is a bad one. What you would expect. Um, but yeah, my like little kid scary movie, which I wasn't that little, but for some reason it just freaked me the hell out. Was that um oh no, the M. Night Shyamalan movie with the aliens that landed on
Signs.
Signs. Oh man,
Yeah.
I had nightmares forever with that one. And now
That
I
was a
watch
creepy
it, I'm
one
like,
too.
this is stupid. This is-
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
another series is Loki season 2.
Ooh, yeah. They're on
Um,
episode 2 now.
I do not have Disney Plus anymore. That is on my list of eventually I will get again. But oh man, I watched the trailer for it and it looks so amazing. I mean, the first one was great.
Yeah.
So, are
Yeah, they
you
got
caught up? Are you watching them?
yeah, I watched episode 2 last Thursday. I gotten to where I'm watching them on the night they get released. They've got they got Tom Hiddleston back as Loki. They've got Owen Wilson as Mobius, and this season they've got Ke Huy Quan from Everything Everywhere All at Once. You may know him as the kid from Goonies and from Indiana Jones. Short Round. Back in the 80s. He took a break, of course, like for 30 or so years, and then came back to acting for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is another big multiverse movie. So he's back into the multiverse game, playing a character named Ouroboros. So he's been really good so far. I gotta say he's like giving Tom Hiddleston a run for his money. Tom Hiddleston's like kills it in every scene. So it's been really good so far. I'm really curious where they're going with it because of course it's all going to tie back into the stuff with Kang and the multiverse. Yeah, it's they've got my attention. It's definitely already better than Secret Invasion. So
uh, yeah, I really want to get Disney Plus. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. There's so much on there I need to watch, but
oh yeah,
luckily I'm keeping myself occupied. But that will be
yeah.
for the things. Of
We
my
didn't even
week.
talk about Ahsoka, did we? Or did we?
I think we talked about it last week or the week before.
Oh, that's right.
So, oh no, I just clicked out of the freaking our movie that we're talking about. But so those are the movies and shows that I have. So Anthony, do a quick rundown of the events and news happening in the DFW.
All right. So again, big shout out to beerandbigd.com for digging all this stuff up. He's doing the Lord's work over there. So as you can imagine, we are getting ever so close to our Halloween events. And so you're going to see a lot of those start popping up. But looking into the future in Beer and Big D's crystal ball, we can see a few events coming up. If you're in the Salina area, Roller Town Beer Works, always with the interesting events there. They have their second annual breakdance battle coming up on the 20th of October on the Friday. They got a live DJ, food vendors, vintage swap meet, a record pop up, $25 at the door per person. And I think that's if you want to enter into the dance battle. I'm not sure if there's a fee just to get into the place, but definitely worth checking out if you're up in that area. It's about an hour away from me, unfortunately. So I probably will not make it. If it were closer, I would totally check it out.
Yeah, they need a live stream it. I want to watch people breakdance. I think that'd be really great.
It's the best. So the best ones are the ones who are really, really good at it, and the ones who think they're good at it and definitely are not.
Yeah. We need to see the mix of the both because it's great. It's great.
Like when they talk about the Olympics, they need to have that person for comparison. It's like, yes, these people are fast, but you don't know how fast they are until you see like just a random guy.
These are the people that made it, and these are the people that were in last place that tried out.
Yeah. It's like this. That's why you know how good the good people are.
Yeah, because you sit at home, you're like, come on, I can run faster than that.
I can do that. Yeah. Nah.
You call that curling? Come on.
But going a little bit further on Saturday, I'm just going to knock my beer over. On Saturday the 21st, we are getting False Idol Brewing has an alcohol inks and drinks. If you like doing those two things at the same time, they got 7 Olives design there, $45 per person to get into the event there at False Idol. Also, Lakewood Brewing has their Let's Get Weird Beer Fest going on, Halloween Shindig. They got live music, human and pet costume contests. Some of their seasonal beers, they're starting to open those up, and that's going to be $25 per person at the door. Suckerfest. Yeah. Three Nations has Suckerfest featuring 9 variants of their Sucker Punch Berliner Weiss.
I wish I was back for that. I love those are so good.
It's been a minute since I've had one of those actually, but
their watermelon one
pretty good.
that they make during the summer. Oh,
it's so good. And we have Community also has their Halloween Dallas Pets Alive featuring pet vendors. So they got like a dog costume contest there at Community on Saturday at 4. And then they have a Trunk or Treat Halloween themed car show at Hop and Sting with Danger Zone. I don't know what that is, but it sounds fun. Civil Poor. Yeah. Also on Saturday, Civil Poor. We mentioned this earlier. 5th anniversary party. 25 rare beers on tap, including barrel-aged coffee beer collaborations from Odd Muse. So, hey. Oh, wait, I left some people out. Coffee beer collaborations with Odd Muse and False Idol.
Whoa, man.
That sounds pretty awesome in my book.
Yeah. So jealous.
Looking a little bit further into the future, we got a lot of Halloween parties coming up. October 27th, we have Halloween Lardy at Painter Island. We have the Brewery Tour. I've seen this a lot, advertised a lot. We're at Martin House on the 28th of October. Dia de los Muertos celebration at White Rock. Celestial on the 28th is their 5th Orbit anniversary party. I still have free beer tickets for Celestial. I need to get out there and use those because I think they may expire soon. Brutal Beer Works, Tups, they both have Halloween parties on the 28th. 28th, if you want to go to a Halloween party, that's when you do it. And then we also have the Bearded Lady. They have a State Fair event going on. State Fair is going on, so a lot of the breweries are out there as well. But Turning Point, Retro Halloween Bash, and a lot of trunk or treats. International, and the last one, and I'll shut up. International Stout Day coming up with Manhattan Project Beer Company. But that's at the Flying Saucer in Cypress Waters on November 2nd. And then we'll talk about the rest of these as we get into future episodes. A lot of events going on into November and December, if you can believe it. So,
I'm so jealous. I miss all those breweries.
Yeah, they're keeping us busy.
I am gonna try to look for some like dog Halloween stuff because since our dog can actually go out in public, I'm like, I really want to go do all these dog events with him. So
Hmm.
be fun. Get him dressed up. Be ridiculous. It's some of the fun. All right. So of course, we always have beer with Big D in our show notes on Facebook. I tag him. Actually, I'm tagging him now, so you can go check him out because he posts great events. His page is really good. Um, yeah, we cannot give enough shout outs and support for Beer and Big D. He does a lot of work that we used to try to do. Because remember when we first started doing it, we were trying to look it up ourselves, and then we were like, "This is too much."
Yes.
So
Yeah, he's got the connections to know what's going on. So,
yeah.
yep. Big shout out. Thank you so much.
All right. So let's get to the movie. 2015 movie, The Sand. Oh, I mean, so I feel like the theme of this movie is what?
What if the floor was lava, but also not lava, but a squid?
And yeah, it just doesn't. It's confusing. It's a very confusing movie.
The floor is squid doesn't really roll off the tongue as well.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, so read the synopsis, even though it's like super short, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, not the shortest, but yes, short. Sorry, get my movie announcer voice going on here. All right. After an epic beach party. Yeah, gotta be specific. After an epic beach party in celebration of their college graduate. Was it college graduation? I thought it was high school.
I didn't realize it was even a graduation.
Yeah, I thought it was just a party. All right.
Yeah.
Getting distracted. A large group of hungover 20-somethings. It's not a large group.
Like 4.
Wake up. Yeah. Wake up in a secluded private beach. But under the bright light of an otherwise ordinary spring break. Spring graduation doesn't happen at spring break. That's right. It was spring break. Okay,
Yeah,
I need to stop. The unsuspecting teens who graduated from college realized that somehow the sand under their feet is alive, ready to devour those who touch it. Now, as the death toll keeps rising, an unseen carnivorous entity is waiting patiently for their slightest wrong move. Is there an escape from the killer beach? Dun, dun, dun.
yeah. So there's a lot of like things that don't add up in this movie. So
Yeah.
okay, so again, we need to have the conversation. Was this made to be a bad movie?
So it actually, I was looking at the trailer, and it's actually, I think it was one of the production companies was Icon, which has made good movies in the past. It's not like it's not from like your like asylums or anything like that. It doesn't look like it's from I think it's from just a no name company. I think this was made genuinely as maybe a horror comedy, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
At the most, but it's not. I don't think it was made with the intent of making a bad movie.
Okay.
I think they had a good concept. It's just the execution of maybe some of the digital CGI was questionable.
Yeah, I mean, and like the whole, so I mean, just the whole beginning of this movie is just confusing. And again, the whole theme of just like, what? So like it flashes to a bunch of people doing, drinking, cake stands, doing just stupid shit. And then it pans to like a random day, or maybe it's supposed to be the next day, where it's just like, it shows the beach and it's calm and it's daytime, and then it flips back where it's nighttime and they're all like, I don't know, doing crazy shit. Like it just,
yeah, it was like flashing back and forth between like trying to establish like the currently what's happening, but also showing flashes of what happened previously. But only does it for a little bit, whereas like some movies it would show
excessive.
it'd show it like throughout, like there would be stuff that happened the previous night that would help answer what's going on during the day. But it basically was just showing us this is where they are now. This is how they got there. And then, but like, only for the first like 5-10 minutes. And then after that, I was like, we are in the present day. This is not a found footage movie, which I thought it was going to be for a second. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it did kind of have that feeling because of the beginning.
yeah.
It's very much in the first person type view kind of thing.
But there's a good reason why it's not, because it can't be.
Yeah.
Because that's actually an important plot point. So,
It's just very I just feel like there's so many directions I want to go with this. Um oh my gosh. Start us off somewhere because I'm my mind's all scattered.
all right. So we have our found footage portion there where it explains to us that there was a party with children, adults of indeterminate age, high schoolers or college students, but it's not graduation; it's spring break. And one of the big plot points that they established early, which I appreciated, was, hey, all the phones go in the bag. Because one of the things they're like, well, easily, if they get such in a situation like this where they get trapped at the beach, they can call somebody for help, right? Not if you are trying to keep this wild and crazy Vegas rules party from going on the internet and for people tweeting about it. And so all the phones go in the bag, they lock it in the trunk, easy peasy, which brings us to the next day. But we have our characters on the ground who are that we see once daybreak occurs. We have Kaylee, who is up in a lifeguard tower with Mitch, Weasley looking kid. We have Gilbert stuck in the garbage can, poor guy. Then we have in the car, we have Ronnie, Jonah, and Shonda. And keep pressing the buttons here. And there is Marcia, who is on the picnic table, and Vance is in the car. Marcia, also referred to as Duck Feet, not long for this world. She wakes up topless and then steps in the sand and then gets eaten. We don't even see her die. That's how quickly she goes.
Okay, I wondered because I was like, did I miss it? Because I mean, granted, I was working at the same time because I was like, oh crap, I forgot to watch that this weekend. Um, but like, yeah, all the other deaths are very drawn out, but hers was very much just like, boom, done. That's why I was
Vance
like,
got all
wait,
the
did I miss it?
attention. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because
he got.
because she
Oh
fell,
my
and
gosh.
Vance hopped out of the car because even though he was being told specifically don't go in the sand, I think these kids figure it out pretty quickly. I think when she steps in the
One
sand,
person figured this out.
yeah, and she started yelling at everybody. But I think everybody listened, to their credit.
So I'm confused because like she knew immediately. She knew before even the first death happened somehow that something was wrong with the sand. And I don't
You know what it
understand
is.
how.
So she was looking around and she saw all the towels and the sleeping bags and everything empty. Everybody was supposedly everybody else fell asleep out there in the sand after the party, but nobody was there anymore. All the cars were still there. You could see like pan the horizon. All the cars were still there, but nobody was out on the beach except for the people who were in the lifeguard tower and on the picnic table and in the car.
But
they don't make it very clear though.
Would you assume, oh, the sand got them?
I would be like, those sons of bitches went off to get breakfast and didn't invite me.
See, that's my thing too, is like, I don't feel like anybody immediately would be like, something's wrong with the sand. Like, I don't know. I feel like she picked it up way too quick. Like,
yeah, true.
Like she had an inside source somewhere.
I was thinking because they didn't really make it clear about Kaylee's background. We don't know anybody's background except that they went to school together. But I thought maybe she's like, we're going to learn that maybe she's like the smart girl who's dating the jock, and then they broke up because he wanted to have sex with this other girl, Shonda. But we never learn anything about that except that she's like just hopelessly devoted to Jonah, the jock ? I don't know.
Yeah, whatever he is.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for Gilbert.
Oh man, poor guy. I mean, that's who I felt bad for the most.
I feel like for many reasons, on top of like he's stuck in a garbage can the whole time, which sucks. but also like there's some stereotyping happening in this movie where you're like, come on, like poor guy, like what he gets called Fat Albert, like
Yeah, but I think it's a good joke because it's like well, it's like an old it's like a play on an old joke because like they did the
mm-hmm,
Albert in a can joke with a
mm-hmm.
Fat Albert joke, so I think it's called him Fat Albert in a can, which was kind of funny, but
Oh yeah.
it makes sense who made the joke because that was that was Jamie Kennedy, right?
Oh no, I had no
Yeah,
idea.
he was the Beach Patrol.
I
Yeah, that's what he's doing these
oh
days.
yeah. I don't, that didn't really look like him.
It didn't. I didn't even recognize him. I was watching with my wife, and she's like, "That's Jamie Kennedy." I
It
was like, I
is
never watched
Jimmy
the Jimmy Kennedy
Kennedy.
experiment, so I didn't know that was him. He's
Yeah, I
looking a
mean,
little rough in his older age.
yeah, that really threw me off,
Yeah,
but anyways, yeah, I mean, it's a movie where a lot of nothing happens. Um, on top of like something happens. I know it kind of makes no sense, but it's
interspersed with
like
people falling into the sand and getting eaten
yeah,
slowly. Get
very
eaten.
slowly, except for one person.
Yeah,
Apparently, and also the octopus, whatever it is in the sand, um, does not like pepper spray.
it's a good thing not to like.
Yeah, but I'm just like, that's out of all the things, for some reason, it doesn't really like that. Like, I don't know.
It doesn't like spicy food. It doesn't like fire.
Yeah,
Doesn't like pepper spray. Uh, I think those are the two things they discover it doesn't like.
yeah.
Yes, I think those
Um,
are the two things they find out.
I don't know what else to really say about this movie till we get into likes and dislikes. Is there anything you want to add before we get into that?
I thought the utility so they hid the monster for the most part until like the very end of the movie. The monster is looks like just kind of like the cilia or like these hairs coming out of the sand. In the beginning, I feel like they use a lot of their effects budget, or at least like the high quality portion of their effects budget, and the writing very in the beginning of the movie when they're showing just like the sand, the hairs
Mm-hmm.
or the
Mm-hmm.
feelers or whatever coming out of the sand. And it looked really cool. But I feel like as the movie went on and they try to be more drastic, because like when they show like the first guy dying, yeah, the CGI is not great. He's stuck in the sand and it shows it like peeling his half his face off and it's like bleeding, and then he's like slowly green screens into the sand. But like the melting of the face effect was kind of cool, at least for shock value in the beginning, because you didn't know that was going to happen.
Right.
But the more you see it, and the more like you get like the rubbery, shiny effect on like the feelers, they start getting bigger and thicker, less like wispy looking, and so it becomes less. It starts looking fakey. I don't know if it's because the squid is growing in strength and mass, or what, but it starts looking all rubbery and rubber monstery. But it looks like they spent less and less on the CGI as time went on. Um, but I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. It was very much also like, well, this kind of goes into actually my dislikes. So I guess let's get into that. So, the thing that I disliked about this movie was actually the hairs, the sand things for me, because unless you were really watching it and looking for it, you wouldn't be able to see it. There were so many times where like it would still zoom in because like they were doing something. You couldn't see it. I had to like stare at the screen. I just feel like they should have made it more noticeable, because really, especially at the beginning before you kind of know what to look for, it's not noticeable. Which I mean,
Mm.
I feel like I understand that's kind of what they want. So it's like a camouflage, but at the same time, like if you're gonna do the zoom, because if your hands get close to the sand, they're zooming that camera right in.
Yeah.
Um, it's at least make it for those scenes a little bit more noticeable for me. Um, and just I don't know, like it's hard because like I kind of want to complain about a little bit of like how bad it was, but I also love how bad it was. You know, that's like what the struggle with these kinds of movies, where it's just like it's such a bad movie that it was really fun and entertaining. So it's just like I hated how just like frustrating these people were and how dumb they were, even though they were really smart and figured it out really quick. But yet they still did a lot of really stupid shit.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. That's kind of like the tear with these kinds of movies. Is just like it annoyed the fuck out of me, but at the same time, I really liked that. Like,
Yeah.
so
So
that's
when
why
it
I feel like I kind of am nitpicking in a sense of just like the zoom in shots, make it so it's like I know what I'm supposed to be looking at.
Yeah, so I watched this on my big screen TV. So the seeing the hairs and the cilia and the feelers coming out of there was probably a little more clear to me because I was watching this on my larger
Mm,
TV. So like it was like front and center, and I could like the hand was like this big on my screen, and so I could see those feelers a little bit more easily. I also first the way I found this movie was I watched this on a Facebook. I watched the beginning of this movie on Facebook as I got it as a reel. That's why when I was telling Ryan
that's
about this movie, is like I think this movie got released originally on TikTok. That's what the comments said in this video I watched. And so because I saw like 5 minutes of it on Facebook on a reel on Facebook or a Facebook story or something, whatever you call those things. But and so I watched 5 minutes of this and I was like, what the hell is this? These kids, I saw a video of someone getting eaten. So I clicked on it and watched it. And because I will just watch anything on Facebook rather than just do my chores. So, so I got a little bit primed on what the thing that was killing these people was, that these tiny little things were poking out of the ground. And so maybe it was easier for me to notice that when I was actually just watching the movie for the
mm,
quote unquote second time, at least in the beginning there. So that part, I actually like the little hairs because it's like such an innocuous little thing, but it was like just ripping the flesh off of these people. It's like a
yeah,
horrifying way to
yeah.
go, you know. And, until one guy was like, I can't feel anything when he gets when it's because you're thinking these people are dying in agonizing pain because this guy gets like poisoned across his torso and his stomach, and so you're thinking these people are dying in like the most agonizing way, slowly being digested by a jellyfish. But the guy when the um, Martin, or what did I say the guy's name was?
I don't remember already.
Mitch,
One of the guys.
the nerdy guy that was that didn't sleep with the main girl. He when he's getting eaten, it's like, I'm feeling nothing, it's fine, as he's like being slowly digested. So I don't know if he's lying just to make everybody else feel not bad about him dying, but everybody else seems to like be in utter pain and terror when they're
Yeah,
getting
losing
eaten.
their
So
mind.
yeah, but anyways, I liked it. I personally like those as part of the monster. I was somewhat disappointed when we started seeing like the big tentacles, because I was like,
Yeah.
well, now it's just a big monster, like Godzilla and all that stuff. So
So is that what you disliked about the movie?
no, what I disliked about this movie
Or was that what
was
you liked about the movie? Or was it neither?
that was just me being a contrarian to your dislike.
Gotcha. All right. I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know where we're categorizing this for you. So got it. All right. What did you
That was
dislike then?
counterpoint. So what I disliked about this movie was what did I dislike about this movie? I disliked the rules weren't super consistent in what would eat the what worked and
Mm,
what didn't work.
yeah.
So they were like, these movies got to be more consistent, got to be consistent about their rules. And so when they were talking about stuff like they put stuff on the ground like the surfboard. Oh no, sorry. Let me rewind. Some of the decisions that were made in the beginning were dumb. One of the big things was the phones are stuck in the trunk. But later on, the guy pulls out surfboards, which I didn't see originally, to make his way towards a picnic table where they find some sodas, so they can have some caloric intake as they're stuck out in the sun. But I'm like, after he pulls out the surfboards, he makes his way over there. After he gets like his stomach tore open a little bit, I'm like, why don't you just put the surfboard behind the car and open the trunk and get a cell phone?
I thought the same. Yeah.
Yeah, they answered a lot of my other questions when it came to stuff like, because I'm thinking to myself, they're in the trunk. Why don't you bring down the back of the back seats to just get in your trunk that way? And they
I
tried
thought
it.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, they tried it. Which much credit to them. They tried a lot of stuff. That I'm like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? I read one thing. And they were like, it had the key fob has a button that you can just pop the trunk. Why didn't they do that instead of having this girl try to like die popping open the trunk? And really, it made sense. The battery, if the battery's dead in this car, then the trunk's not going to pop. Makes sense. They don't. They never specifically state it, but that's like internal rules. There are good, but like decision making was like flawed. But hey, also in these situations, you're not going to make the wisest decisions because you're like in panic about the fact that your entire class got eaten, and you just want to get out of there. But anyways, yeah, the internal consistency of the rules wasn't great. I don't know, like the fire pit thing. Then you have like the wood getting pushed around and the surfboards getting pushed around, and it's just like, what can the squid do? What can't the squid do? It can reach up and grab some people. It can't reach up and grab other people. It can pop tires or not pop tires, depending on if it's this car or that car. I don't know. It was able to eat through wood at one point. I don't know.
Yeah. I get that. I did notice that as well. All right. So things that we liked about this movie. I honestly I really enjoyed that. Like, I feel like I really didn't know what to expect next with this movie. And it wasn't like in the sense of like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next. But it's just like, literally, this movie is just like, go over here, go over here, go over here, go over here, go over here.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I didn't think it would end the way that it ended, which was them inside the beach patrol car sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna end like that. So I mean, I kind of liked that. Like, even though it feels kind of predictable of like how certain people are gonna die, and like you knew that I already forgot his name, but the trash can kid, like I knew
Gilbert,
right
yeah.
away. I knew how he was gonna die. Just stuff like that where like it's still kind of fun, but like
You thought he was gonna get flushed down in the can?
I knew it because he was stuck. I was just like, it's gonna like, I figured he's either gonna just like absorb the can kind of a thing, or go like just it's like like
Pull
it's
up
like
like a Mario
slowly,
pipe. Yeah.
it's like slowly eating like the bottom of it. So I don't
Yeah.
know, like it's stuff that I expected, but at the same time, I kind of had fun with like the main ideas and stuff like that. You didn't know kind of where it was gonna go at the same time. So I don't know. It was just a fun, stupid movie.
Yeah, I will say it's really interesting. Some of the deaths are very predictable. Like when Ronnie, after she injures her hand, that poor girl went through it. She got her finger stuck in the car trunk, which we've all done it, but she's like stuck there with her body weight on the fingers in the trunk. And then she's like, she did the dumb move of hesitating, crossing the thing, and then fall over onto the pepper sprayed sand where she survived for a little bit, but then she got her legs eaten and then she died. So she just wasn't fast enough.
Yeah.
Bummer for her. But yeah, like and like the they've definitely broadcasted the death of I keep forgetting the kid's name again. It's like Martin Mitch, where they showed the broken wood in the beginning, and then he leans over on it again and he falls in the sand and gets eaten because he's got the solution where he's gonna put on sandals and run because they see Jamie Kennedy didn't get eaten through his boots. So yeah, but I know some of the deaths were really interesting, like Gilbert getting Mario piped warp pipe down into his can there. Although I was thinking that at some point he was going to wiggle so much and fall over and then get eaten like that, and then we're just going to have like a lower
Yeah.
legs just kind of hanging out of a garbage can. So hey, what are you going to do? My thing I liked about this movie though is the acting with the even though the material was thin and the monster was barely there. I feel like the main actors throughout the course of the movie actually held this movie up pretty decently. If it wasn't for them kind of selling it, I think this movie would have been way worse than it actually was. So I give a lot of credit to the actor. There's some pretty experienced actors on this, like, not including Jamie Kennedy, but there's some people on here with some long credits to their name in this movie. So I think they helped make it helped sell it to be more than what was on the written in the script there. Mitchell Musso, who plays Mitch, he's actually a veteran Disney actor. He was in a lot of like Disney stuff as a kid growing up, and I think he still does a lot of voice acting for Phineas and Ferb of all shows. So which I thought was really interesting. But so some of these actors and actresses here, they've been in a bunch of other stuff before. So I think that there's some pretty good talented working actors here that kind of helped sell it. And so that's what I liked about it. I kind of took it and up that camp level, that campiness a bit to make it more legit and less like your asylum level horror movies and more of a valiant effort level. So the story is at least understandable and somewhat believable.
I concur.
Yeah, they were done in, but I feel like if the CGI were at a better level, I feel like this would rise to the level of maybe cult classic. But the CGI is crummy. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
All right. So with all that said, we are going to rate this, which we are on Letterboxd. If you want to see, so Letterboxd is where you rate movies. If you want to follow us, it's let's do let's do a podcast. I don't know why I forgot our name for a second there. So from today's movies, I think this whiskey is hitting me.
It's the one.
Between 1 and 5, how would you rate this movie?
So I give this one a 3.
Oh, me too.
I feel like this one's pretty solid. CGI is kind of crap. It starts okay, and it gets worse. I feel like this one actually sets itself up potentially for a sequel. It seemed like it was going to be like if the Meg were squid. That's what it wants to be at the end there, because it shows the Meg squid, what I'm going to call it now, going towards Santa Monica Pier. So I'd be interested to see how that goes, but I doubt we'll see how that ends. So, but yeah, I give it a 3. It's a pretty solid entry. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, no, I would to my friends that like pretty much bad movies. Like this is one I would say I think it's worth a watch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I give it a good 3 as well.
Definitely not the worst thing I've ever read on Facebook or seen. So
it is not even close to the worst movie we've ever watched. So
oh no, yeah, we've seen many that are worse. Yeah.
So all right. With that said, how are you looking over there with your beer, sir?
Oh, I have plenty of this beer left. I'm not finishing it.
Ooh, all right. So let's rate our drinks. So Anthony, how would you rate your beer?
I give it a 2. Valiant effort. Maybe it's due to the fact that this is maybe been sitting in my fridge for a minute, but I feel like most of these things should hold up for at least several months or a year. This did not. So it's either was it already bad or it became bad. So yeah, it's maybe my fault, but it's tastes like stout flavored water. So I don't know if I want to lay that at the feet of Athletic Brewing, but I'm not a fan.
Gotcha. So I feel like I should just kind of give a little bit of background. I do enjoy whiskeys. I like to drink whiskeys by themselves or mixed, just so I don't think we've ever had a whiskey on the show, so I do drink them I think quite frequently. So, but
I
for this
too find
one,
myself to be a distinguished gentleman.
yes, yes, I like to drink my drinks with my pinky up. Um, so there's an app that I use called Distiller. You can go on there and kind of rate, and I have like a little folder of just like whiskeys I've tried. So this one has a 2.5 out of 5. I would give it a solid 3. I don't think it's bad by itself, but it's definitely one that like there's not a lot of flavor happening here. It is a good one to like have mixed, that's for sure. But I feel like for a by yourself kind of whiskey, it's on the lower side.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like a 5, like your Angel's Envy and your Japanese whiskeys, kind of that level.
I mean, I don't know if I could say that I've had a 5 yet,
Yeah.
or something that I'm just like I could constantly drink this by itself. Like this is like the perfect whiskey. But I feel like I'm kind of starting to really get into just trying them more by themselves. Um, I do have another whiskey that I think I'll probably try for the Halloween one, so I'm looking forward to that. We found it at our local farmers market. They make it locally and all this kind of stuff. So I was
Hmm.
like, I got a little taster of it. I was like, this is delicious. So we'll see how it is by itself because again they mixed it. So
Yeah.
all
And I'll come
right,
back with a beer that has alcohol in it because I've
that's
learned my
right.
lesson.
Yep. Hey, I've had a few non-alcoholic beers that I enjoy. Um, I can't say that I've had any recently because I usually, if I'm gonna have that, I'm like, I might as well have it with alcohol.
Right.
So let's move on to our thing of the week. So I know last week I talked about we started Survivor. So that's not gonna be my thing of the week, but just an update. We just moved on to season 4. So in 2 weeks we went through 2 seasons. So um what
Oh,
a
you got like 46 more seasons to go.
I think we have 41 more seasons.
Yeah.
What a wild show. Like I mean, I've not actually watched the show. Um it's crazy. It's I there's no way I could do it. There's no way. Even in my like most fit time of my life, which yes, it's surprising now. I used to be very fit and in shape and everything, but I don't know. That it's a whole nother level of torture in my mind.
Yeah, which it used to be. So what I've heard is that what I've read is that a lot of these shows they've like added so many gimmicks to them over the years that they've actually become somewhat easier over time. But I know recently they've trying to with a lot of the CBS reality shows they're trying to go back to the tougher versions and try
Mm,
to strip away all the gimmicks in the game. So like I think this newest season of Survivor they've done that, and I know I'm watching Big Brother right now, and they've been doing that too, where they're trying to go back to what the hardcore version of the show was as well. So
yeah, I've heard that too. So I'm really interested to see because it's been interesting so far season to season, just the difference. And like this is the first season. They're like, we're not giving you water, we're not giving you any food. Like we are literally giving you nothing. And like usually at the end of like the tribal council things, they at least like, hey, you get to take fire home. They're like, no, you're putting out your fire. You ain't even taking that back. Like, like they're like, you get
that's
nothing.
rough.
Yeah. So I'm just like, this is wild. Like I feel like how can they do that? But anyways, so that's not my thing. Like it's actually another show. So that's my show whenever the wife's home and we're hanging out and stuff. But I kind of like to have in the background another show. I started going through Doctor Who. Um,
Ooh,
so which it's been on forever. So
yeah.
it's kind of
It's
like
been on
the
since like the '60s.
yeah, it's like the newer stuff. I can't remember what year that the newest one is. Actually, I have IMDb right here. But I started that from the season 1 that's like the newer
Yeah,
stuff.
Christopher Eccleston, right? Yeah,
Let's see. Doctor Who. But anyways, oh yeah, 2005
yeah.
is whenever that was. And
Bad Wolf and all
I
that, right?
said that
Bad Wolf and all that, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Man, so yeah, I've gone through seasons 1, 2, and 3 multiple times. I usually give up after then because I'm like, "Oh, there's just so many to watch. But I am on like season. Oh, I just had it up, and of course I exited out, so I kind of feel a little bad. But anyways, I'm very far along now.
Are you on? Who's the doctor? Is it Tennant? Is it is it Smith? Is it was it Peter Capaldi?
So I just finished. So my next episode's with the new doctor after Peter.
Oh, so forget what the lady's name is that becomes the doctor. Yeah.
So yeah, this is the controversial female doctor that I'm gonna get into.
Mm.
Oh man, it's gonna drive me nuts. So I'm gonna look it up whenever you're talking so I can fill everybody in because it's gonna
All right.
just drive me insane. But anyways, I'm having so much fun going through this again.
Yeah, which you're about at the end because I think they just finished up her run and it's going back to Tennant. It looks like now.
So I just started season 11 then.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I'm on season. Wow, I've watched so much of this. Um, so yeah, I'm on season 11, my main goal was like I want to get to the current season, or I don't know if the current season even started yet, but Jinx Monsoon.
I don't think it has. Yeah, yeah. It's starting soon. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know Jinx Monsoon's gonna be in there. I think oh, I'm blanking on his name, but he's from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah.
He's gonna be there. So there's a lot of big people that are gonna be in this. My main thing was Jinx is gonna be in there. I gotta watch it.
Oh yeah.
But also I'm having a blast with it. So I feel like if you're super nerdy and maybe you've started it or you've seen an episode or whatever, it's on Max, HBO Max, but it's just Max now, just for people that don't know. It's on every season's on there while starting the 2005. It's worth a watch. It's so much fun.
What you should do after you get caught up is go back to the beginning, like the episodes from the 60s and 70s and 80s, and work your way through those. Some of those, like I think most of the first season, season with the first Doctor is lost to time. However, and I think they didn't start like recording the episodes permanently on VHS until the second Doctor, if I remember my lore correctly. I think there's a few episodes out there that still have the first Doctor out there, but not a complete season available by any means. But it was less lore heavy, I think, back then. It was more Adventure of the Week type deal. So
yeah, they did so I just watched like a Christmas special, which usually their Christmas specials are like their switches sometimes between doctors. But anyways, it was the current Doctor meets the very first Doctor. And I think it must have been CGI because I doubt he's still alive.
Yeah. Oh, that guy's been dead a while. Yeah. That guy was old back in the 60s.
Yeah. So that kind of made me think, I really want to watch those, but I'm like, I don't know if I could do it. I bet they're rough to get through, but I love Doctor Who though. It kind of rejuvenated kind of that love for Doctor Who. And I've been looking, I was like, man, I really want my own sonic screwdriver. Like, you know?
I used to have the Matt Smith sonic screwdriver for the longest time. I'm sure I think I have it somewhere buried in a closet. But yeah, those are fun.
Yeah. So that's my thing of the week. So Anthony, what you got?
So I had a bunch of things of the week for the last episode. So I'm just pulling off the list of the ones that I didn't go into. I've been getting into PC games recently. I always talk about Kerbal Space Program. I probably played that on my PC, and that was the only game on my PC for must have been like 2 or 3 years. I've now started moving into more recent games, getting into like the late 2010s now for games, and so I started playing Outer Wilds, which did I talk about this one last time? Or did I mention it?
I think you mentioned it. I don't know if you actually talked about it. So even if you did, we'll give you a pass.
All right. So Outer Wilds, hopefully not again. But started playing Outer Wilds probably a little bit before we did our last recording. And it was the first time I realized I can plug in my Xbox controller to my computer, which I'm glad to know that now. Because I was like, the game I really wanted to get, but I didn't, was Near Automata, which I have a friend which a friend of mine had told me is worth playing, but you need a gamepad for that. But Outer Wilds has also been on my list for a while, so I got that. It was cheap, it was on sale. So, anyways, it's a space game. Big surprise for me, but it's very much an open world game that does not hold your hands at all, which is a departure for me because I'm usually like a lot more of a linear structure when it comes to my games. So I spend a lot of time bumbling around, getting killed, getting eaten by things, running into the sun, all that stuff. Don't want to say too much about the game because one of the things about the game in the community is don't talk about the game too much for those who haven't played, because it's just an experience you got to go through. I'm currently going through it. I'm frustrated by it because I, again, don't play these types of games very often, but I also want to find the thing that everybody says they get really into and get really attached to this game with. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's a fun, like folksy space game where you have to like go to different planets in your little spaceship and your spacesuit and go explore different environments and figure out this central mystery that kind of is everything that's wrapped around to basically save your species on your home planet. And I don't want to go too much into depth than that there. But all that to say, playing Outer Wilds on Steam. Looking forward to playing more computer games on Steam, because they no longer make games for my Xbox because I have the old Xbox. So it's kind of a bummer because I really like to play Starfield, but I guess I'll have to buy it for my computer. So, but yeah, Outer Wilds, check it out. It's not that expensive. I think I got it for like $20 on Steam. So, but it's maybe not an old game, but an older game. So definitely check it out.
Might have to download it since it's on sale. Because that's on my list, but I'm still going through Starfield. I will be probably for the rest of my life, but I'm having a blast with Starfield.
Yeah, I want to play it so bad.
Yeah, really. Anytime I get on my computer to play something, it's that, because it's like, there's so much to do. Like, it is insane how much there is to do. And
I'm spending,
it is a little bit difficult because it's like, I'm the type of person of like, I want to do the main mission and then I'll do all the side quests. But with this, it's just like, I know if I just do that, I'm gonna miss so many good side quests, and so I just get in the struggle of, what do I do? You know?
See, I'm on Bethesda. Any Bethesda game, whether it's Fallout or Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls games, I'm always like, as soon as they let you loose off the chain of the tutorial levels, I'm off doing all these other levels aside from the main quest, and I probably don't come into the main quest until I have nothing else left to do. And that by that point, I'm like level 2 billion, and the main quest is pretty easy. So.
Yeah, that's what I did with Hogwarts. I did all the side missions, and then whenever I got in there, like I was so leveled up, like the main missions were nothing for me. I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. So that's probably what I should do, is just like do all the side quests, and then the rest of it should be pretty easy. But yes, it's been nice kind of getting the passion back for gaming, because I feel like for a while there, I don't know, just I was kind of getting tired of all the games. For one, like all the games that I would play were like very like shooter, like kind of, I don't know, the games that were popular, that are very, very popular, that are like multiplayer only kind of games. I was like, I kind of miss playing a good old single player game where I can just zone out by myself and not have to, I don't know, be entertaining in a sense for other people. But
right.
So, anyways, all right. So with that, I think we had everything. So, all right.
So you can find us on Facebook at Let's Do a Podcast, where you maybe are watching us right now.
Hopefully,
you can, you can find us on Instagram. Let's Instapod. You can find us on Twitch. Let's Do a Podcast, where we have this stream go sometimes too. Yes.
Oh yeah, it's always up there too.
Yeah. And Ryan, you know the other places I always forget.
Letterbox is Let's Do a Podcast. Untapped is Let's Do a Podcast. YouTube is Let's Do a Podcast 22. I think that's it. And of course, if you listen to our podcast and you're like, you know what, I downloaded a new podcast app, but you're not there, let us know. We will put ourselves there and you'll be happy, we'll be happy, and we'll all be happy. So let me triple check my calendar, but I think our next episode, yes, our next episode will be released on Halloween. So we will have to bring our spooky selves for a good Halloween episode. And I think we're gonna have to do, what was that movie that's on Hulu?
No one will save you.
No One Can Save You. I'm gonna say it now. We're gonna do that one. So if you guys
Okay,
want to
sounds
watch
good.
if you guys want to watch it, you guys want to join us live, we'll be probably recording that Monday. Well, I will try to update everybody. Try my hardest. Because I know some people are like, I want to watch you guys live, but I don't know when. I'm like, yeah, I don't know when either. So
Like, boo, we're recording.
yeah, but we're here. So, anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you guys on Halloween. Ooh,
Ooh.
penetration.
Oh, that is scary.
That is very scary. All right. See you, everybody. Let's end a podcast.
Bye. Bye.